first
Yeah.
time and I forgot. How is the in-helmet communication then with the linebackers?
Man, it's really cool. You know, it's something that we're working on because we didn't have last year, right? And so it's been pretty good. And you know, really honestly, we've been just trying to get used to it. You know, I got to make sure I'm talking loud enough, my mic's in the right place. You know, but it's been really good. It's been a new cool tool that we've been able to use and incorporate. And I think it's really nice to be able to give those guys a couple little quick things and you know, if you need the eyes back because you need to make an adjustment or something like that, it's helped. It's like getting a chance to have one of the guys always tuned in to you on the field. It's been cool. Yeah.
Fall camp finale, obviously, today. What group, in your estimation, has made the biggest jump so far?
Well, listen, first off, before I answer that, okay, I just want to tell you congratulations on the job, Austin, okay, and good luck in Boise. You know, I always had a tremendous amount of respect for the way you carried yourself and did your business here. So good luck. We'll be rooting for you. You'll be missed here, okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I really be honest with you, when you ask about the jump, I'd say that whole secondary as a whole, Coach Shep's group with those safeties and nickels made a huge jump. I felt like the corners made a really big jump as well. And maybe they had further to go, really, in all fairness, but I really feel like the secondary has made a big jump, and we're just getting more and more confident with their play and their ability, and they've just gotten sharper and sharper. Communication's gotten better and better, so we're probably in the best spot we've been with this particular group yet, and that's a good feeling.
What's out most from the scrimmage on Saturday?
What did I take most from the
scrimmage?
scrimmage?
What were your biggest takeaways?
You know, I thought we started fast on the scrimmage. We had 3 and outs to start, and then we finished strong. You know, at the end, you know, not everything went perfect in the scrimmage for us, but you look down there at the end, and we had to make it happen late to get off the field and get the win, and they did. And so, you know, I think the intensity of play by the guys was really close to what we're trying to get to. We're not quite there yet, but it's really close. But I thought we started fast and finished strong.
Yeah, anything since the last time we talked that has stood out about the defense? Anybody who's maybe progressed especially?
You know, we've had a couple guys really progress. You know, I mean, I would say this: when you look at that last scrimmage, it was like, oh, here's Caden Dowler. There he is. That's a nice man to have out on the field when you're a D coordinator. You know, and the guy I'd probably give a shout out to, not necessarily because, you know, nobody else is playing great. A lot of guys are, but I've been really impressed with Cole Taylor. He's had a really good camp. He continues to impress me, and been real proud of his progress. I think Coach Owens does a great job with him, and those two guys are working hard to get a good product together, and I think they're on the right track right now.
We talked about all.
Preparation will look like now as you guys turn the page to Oregon.
Yeah, so now we got to start. You know, so we've been kind of working fundamentally as a defense, and then kind of, you know, just kind of general, see how we can answer a lot of questions and a lot of different calls. And now we're going to narrow that focus to an opponent. So certainly now we'll get a chance to start game planning and showing these guys, hey, here's all these pieces we've been using all camp. This is how they work. This is how they fit in our defense. This is why and when we're using them. And so, you know, getting a chance to go into game plan mode is actually going to be pretty good thing. I think it's for the growth of our defense. So looking forward to that for sure.
We talked to you at the beginning of fall camp, and you talked about so many different aspects of what you wanted the defense to work on. But how do you feel where they're at now as we sit in the finale versus when we talked to you first?
That's a good question. Well, I think, you know, without giving away a ton, I think we've shown that we do have some strengths in certain areas and maybe some deficiencies in others. And, you know, this whole job here, I don't know if you can hear me over this tractor right here, but this whole job here is going to be, how can we get these guys playing as absolutely fast as we can? How can we get them playing at the top end of their ability level? Same thing I said before. And I would say that we probably have a clear path to some things that we can call that we feel really comfortable in a lot of different situations with these guys. And so I would say that we're a lot closer to narrowing that focus. I'm not going to give you any huge answers on what that would be, though, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Of course.
Did you guys, have you thought about that Idaho game last year at all with playing Oregon and competing in that game? Is that something you guys have talked about, I guess, going into this one?
You know, I think that's on a lot of people's mind, probably more the fans than anything. You know, well, Idaho played them tough, and I just think that, you know, you run into a team like Oregon who had, you know, a huge amount of success last year and just missed the ultimate success. I gotta believe that's gonna be a focused team. I gotta believe they're not looking for anything like, hey, Idaho played you close again. And so I'm guessing we're going to get Oregon's best shot. I think that's, what Coach Viggs has been able to do with this program is a lot of amazing things, right? And it's also putting a target on us, and we get everybody's best shot. And I don't think Oregon's sitting there thinking to themselves, just show up. I don't know how much the Idaho thing plays into it. I know that we're just trying to put the best product we can put on the field and worry about who we got and what we can do and what we can accomplish, more so than how Oregon's going to take us in that matchup.
Yeah.
And
is that
look back to that New Mexico game at all and having, a triumph against an FBS program?
Yeah, and I think, that's another great question and another totally different set of circumstances. But I will say this. The one thing I do think that's a good question is, we've been in that arena where it's like, okay, things aren't going perfect. You know what I mean? We're facing some adversity. What are we going to do? Are we going to fold? Are we going to fight? And what we learned about that team was they were going to fight. And then again, you saw that for the next 14 games in that season, because that was a team that wanted to fight. And they showed that early. And so what I would say is I'd be curious to see how these guys are going to bow their neck and stand up to, we're facing one of the very best teams in the country, in personnel and coaching wise. So be a good test.
How much motivation was that Oregon State game for you and others who were there for that game?
I think Oregon State's a good example of a team that definitely didn't take us lightly. You know what I mean? And they came and they showed up and they were really prepared. And I know that we felt like we left that thing feeling like we had a better version of our team to show than we did that day. And of course, I'm from Oregon, and so any chance you get a chance to go home, you want to do your very best. And I don't think we left that game feeling like we did. Felt like we probably didn't represent ourselves overly well. And then you saw it at the edge. I mean, we went a long time without losing after that,
Right.
So, good question.